Nyawaskano Gagwego, and I want to welcome you to the Seneca Art and Culture Center. It's a new building here at Ganondagan. It only opened in 2015. It is 17,500 square feet, and it's created to be both an art center, a multi-purpose building with an auditorium, and we shall visit some of the areas inside of the building. This is the entry area of the Seneca Art and Culture Center, and the very first thing that greets you is an exhibit called Before All Else. And so what it does is it outlines the Thanksgiving address by which we open all of our gatherings, whether it's a ceremonial gathering or a social gathering. And it's the things that we thank our Creator for. And then we have an exhibit here that describes that, as well as we have a video running in our language, Ganondagan, describing those things that we give thanks for, including all of the things, including our Mother Earth, the plants, the waters, the foods, the animals, the birds, trees, etc. All of those things we give thanks for. In total, Ganondagan consists of 569 acres. The Seneca Art and Culture Center is here just in this lower part of this much larger area. And over the area we have many different hiking trails. We have an area where we have planted native grasses on site. We have an area which we have used for farming our Iroquois white corn. And we have a lot of identification on these trails with stainless steel signs and also with baked enamel signs to help visitors understand the whole site. This is a diorama that shows the historic site as it would have appeared in the year approximately 1677. In our exhibit, we show what we call the Hayawenta Belt, or the Hiawatha Belt. Some call it the Five Nations Belt. This is one of our oldest belts, showing those nations that were united by a message of peace, power, and righteousness, and where they are geographically in relation to each other. So, beginning on the west, we're going to say the Seneca Nation, the Cayuga Nation, the Onondaga Nation, the Oneida Nation, and the Mohawk Nation, linked by this white line and the white lines that outline the area. In the center is the Tree of Peace, a symbol of our Confederacy, but that white indicates that there was a message of peace that brought these nations together. This map indicates where the French, the Dutch, and the English were physically located during the time period when they were trading with the Seneca for beaver pelts. The Dutch were up the Hudson River. The English were along the Atlantic coast in places like Massachusetts and Connecticut, this part here, and then up along the St. Lawrence River at the top is the location of New France, where the French were located. So these three powers were trading with the Seneca for beaver pelts, in exchange for which we were getting guns, gunpowder, iron axe, glass, copper, brass, and many other kinds of things like cloth came into the trade system. One large area of our gallery is for temporary or changing exhibits. And this particular exhibit focuses on the contributions of Hodinöhsö women, of our Iroquois Confederacy, from the time of our creation story with the Sky Woman who came and brought life to this earth, to the time period when people were living here at Ganondagan, to the time period when our women were having an influence on the suffragists, the women who were fighting for the right to vote, to the time period of today, and the contributions that our women are making in today's world. All Seneca people belong to one of 8 clans, and here we have an exhibit devoted to our clan system. On one side of our clan system are the birds, and that's the heron, the hawk, the snipe, and the odd one is the deer, the white-tailed deer on the bird side. On the animal side, snapping turtle, beaver, bear, and wolf. If you are Seneca and you are an enrolled Seneca, you belong to one of these 8 clans, and the clan is determined by who your mother is. This is our auditorium, our multi-purpose space. We have roll-out seating that allows this to be a theater. A movie screen drops down here in the front. The curtains close to the outside window. And we also have a variety of different kinds of tables that we can set up for conferences, that we can set up for dinners, we can set up for lectures. So this is a very flexible space. We're even able to use it as an art gallery when we do a juried art show once a year. This is our Seneca bark longhouse. It was built between 1997 and 1998. It is based on an actual Seneca bark longhouse that was excavated back in the 1960s by an archaeologist. In other words, we used the number of post molds that were found to indicate where the posts inside the building were that held up the walls and the ceiling. We also spaced out fire pits down the central aisle of this bark longhouse. Last summer, not this past one, but a year ago, we put a new roof on this bark longhouse. But otherwise, it's held up very well over the years, and it gives visitors an idea of the architectural space that we lived in when we occupied Ganondagan. Remember, this is just one of 150 that existed on this site and were eyewitnessed in the year 1677.